This story ain't for kids. It ain't for the soft. And it definitely ain't for anybody looking for fairy tales. This is Atlanta. Not the postcard version. Not the brunch and Buckhead version. Not the strip club highlight reel. I'm talking Southwest. Blue lights in the rear view. Helicopters at 3 a.m. Money stuffed in walls. Loyalty thinner than dollar bills. This story is about survival. About love that feels real, but might be manipulation. About friends who turn into headlines. About judges signing warrants by day, and daughters falling in love with the very men those warrants are meant to destroy. It's about a man who beat a case, just to find out freedom has a price tag. $2 million in a backpack, a kingpin facing life, a dead friend on the news, and a woman who might have saved him, or set him up. If you're under 18, click off now. This is adult rated, raw, unfiltered, street decisions, real consequences. And in this city, the streets don't forget, they don't forgive, and they damn sure don't let you walk away clean. Welcome to the story. If you rock with dark, gritty, edge-of-your-seat drama, hit subscribe, because once this starts, there's no turning back. First of the month don't knock. It presses, like it knows you sleeping light already. I'm on the couch when my phone starts vibrating itself across the table. Aaliyah name lighting the room before the sun even think about showing up. I don't answer. I already know the tone. Ain't no good morning left between us. I reach in my pocket anyway. $5. That bill been folded so many times it feels soft, like it tired too. Outside, a siren slide past. Somewhere upstairs, somebody arguing. Atlanta breathing heavy through the walls. Back when I was hustling, first of the month meant re-up, cash ready, confidence loud. I wasn't rich, but I wasn't scared either. Dime bags out the backpack, eyes always moving, money always coming. Then that night at the club rewired my whole life. Aaliyah wasn't loud like Nyah. She was solid, thick in a way that didn't beg for attention, lips full like she had something to say even when she quiet. We danced, we drank, we kissed, then I took her back to my crib and we fuck all night long. She knew how to suck a good dick too. Shawty is fire. The rest happened fast and reckless, like most things that change your life forever. Weeks later she told me she was pregnant. Damn, I fucked up. My dad never around, never knew him. My meemaw told me he had a lot of kids out there. He was hustling like me. That same week, I stopped hustling. I tell myself it was about doing right, about growing up. Be there for my kids, not like my pops. Truth is, I was scared. My phone buzzed again. Aaliyah, rent due today. Kids' school calling. Don't disappear. I finally text back. I'm working on it. She didn't respond. Silence louder than cussing. That's when the knock come. Not the landlord yet. Memory knocking. Streets whispering. Old habits reminding me how easy it used to be. I grab my keys before I think too hard. Nyah, a chick I met at the gas station. Ghetto as hell, but shawty is a freak. But she's down for whatever. Nyah's place always feels like I'm stepping out of my real life. Lights low, music slow, smell like perfume and weed smoke mixed with heat. She opens the door in panties and a t-shirt, hair messy like she ain't been waiting, but somehow always ready. She look at my face, read me fast. Rough day already? She asks. I shrug. She step aside. That's all the permission we need. She don't ask about my kids, don't ask about bills. She touched my chest like that's the only conversation she interested in. This chick loves this, dick. We walk straight to her bedroom, a familiar place I know too well. Her body warm, confident. She knows exactly what she doing and why. When she pull me close, the world get quiet for a minute. Just skin, breath, weight, gravity doing its thing. Her head game is nothing to play with. This chick will try anything. This ain't romance. This is escape. 25-year-old side chick, club girl, soft skin, hard heart, no attachment. Later, we lay there, sweat drying, ceiling fan humming like you're tired of watching. She traced a finger across my stomach, slow, thoughtful. You always leave like you guilty, she say. I got responsibilities. She smirks. Everybody say that. That hit harder than it should have. I dress in silence. She don't stop me. That's her power. She never needs to. Outside, my phone already lighting up. Aaliyah again. Aaliyah apartment smell like kids and stress. Toys on the floor, shoes by the door that don't fit no more. She stand in the kitchen with her arms crossed, bonnet on, eyes sharp enough to cut through excuses. You been answering everybody but me, she say. That ain't, don't, she snap. Don't lie in my house. Kids laughing in the other room. That sound make everything heavier. You know what hurt the most? She continued. Not the money. It's that you always tired for us, but never too tired for her. I don't deny it. That's worse. She stepped closer, voice low now. I loved you when you was broke before, she say. But now, you broke and gone. That one stay with me. When I leave, my phone buzz again. This time it ain't Aaliyah, it's Tone. Still got your old number. Streets miss you. I stare at the screen. First of the month got teeth, and it look hungry. Tone don't call to check on you. Tone call when he already know the answer. I'm sitting in the Chevy outside Aaliyah place, engine off, hand still on the wheel like I forgot how to move. Her words still ringing in my head. Broke and gone. That one cut deep because it felt earned. My phone buzz. Tone. I let it ring twice. 3 times. On the 4th, I answer. Where you at? He asked, voice calm like he ain't trying to pull me back into something I fought hard to leave. Out, I say. He chuckled. You always out when you struggling. Silent stretch. I got something easy, he continued. One night, ain't what it used to be, just a handoff. I close my eyes, see my kid's shoes by the door, see Nyah's lips part when she smile, see $5 folded too many times. I ain't back, I say. Didn't say you was, Tone reply, just said you hungry. He hang up. That's worse than begging. I end up at Nyah place again, not because I want to be there, because it's where my shame go quiet. She opened the door slow, nothing but panties on, no bra. Eyes already sharp. She been watching my energy since the last time I left without staying. She stepped back and let me in like she letting a storm cross her threshold. You look mad, she say. I'm tired. She smiled like those words excite her. She don't rush me. That's how Nyah play it. She let me pace, let me sit, let me stew. Then she moved close, real close, legs brushing mine, breath heavy enough to remind me I'm still wanted somewhere. Her touch ain't gentle, it deliberate. She know exactly when to lean in, when to pull away, when to let her body promise relief she ain't fully gonna give unless I stay. You ever think about just disappearing? She asked, low. Just you and me, no stress, no drama. I laughed once, bitter. You know that ain't real. She climbed onto my lap anyway, nails digging just enough to hurt. Real is overrated, she whispered. She pulled my dick out, moved her panties to the side, and sit on my dick. The sex ain't tender. It ain't wild either. It cold, focused. 2 people using each other for different reasons and not pretending otherwise. After, she stay sitting on me longer than necessary, like she marking territory, leaving the scene of her pussy in my lap. You don't answer her when you with me, she say. That ain't you don't, she repeat, firmer now. And I like that. I don't respond. She slide off my dick, grab her phone, and I catch a glimpse of Aaliyah's name saved in her contacts. My chest tighten. You talking to her? I ask. Nyah smiled without humor. She talking to me. That's when I know this ain't just good head and sex no more. This is war. Next morning, Aaliyah show up at my job, hair pulled back tight, face calm in that dangerous way. She don't yell, she don't cry. She wait till we outside, away from ears. She messaged me, Aaliyah say. My stomach drop. Says she take better care of you than I ever did. I try to speak, nothing come out right. You letting her play in my face now? She continue. In my kid's life? That ain't what. She stepped closer, finger pressing to my chest. You don't get to be confused anymore, Marquise. You either a father or a ghost. Her eyes wet now, but her voice steady. And if you think money from the streets gon' fix this, she add, I'll make sure my kids never see you again. Damn, I can't believe she said that. She turned and walked away before I can answer. That night, Tone pull up beside me at the light, window down, same grin. Decision time, he say. Red light glowing, sirens distant, $5 still in my pocket. I nod once. That's all it take. 10 years ago still live in my body. I feel it when I sit too still, when sirens slide past slow, when a door closed too hard behind me. I was 22 when they put me in cuffs, possession of a controlled substance. Enough weight to scare me, enough to make the state look at me like I was a future problem instead of a stupid kid with bad timing. I remember the cold of the metal, the way everybody suddenly knew my name like it belonged to them now. They said 10 years. 10. I remember my mama crying in the courtroom, trying not to make a sound. I remember the public defender talking fast, like speed could change facts. I remember the judge looking down at me over his glasses, quiet too long. Then he said it. 1 year to serve, 9 years probation. Slack. That word stuck with me. A year inside still felt like my life was over, but 9 years hanging over my head taught me something worse. Freedom can be conditional. One wrong move and they don't argue with you again. That's why I left the streets. Not because I turned holy, because I got tired of sleeping with a countdown clock. That memory hit me hard the night Nyah stopped pretending. She knew something was different the second I walked in. Nyah always read me better than I liked. She ain't asked how my day was. She ain't touched me right away. She just sat on the edge of the couch, legs crossed, phone in her hand, screen dark like a threat she ain't pulled yet. You been thinking, she said. I shrugged. Bad habit. That's dangerous for you, she added. I laughed once, forced, sat down across from her. She didn't move closer. That's when I knew. She wanted control, not comfort. You remember what you told me the first night? She asked. I didn't. You said you hate feeling owned. She tilted her head. Funny thing is, everybody belongs to somebody. She unlocked her phone, didn't hand it to me, just turned the screen enough for me to see. Messages, Aaliyah name. Nothing sexual, nothing wild, just enough. Just friendly enough to feel disrespectful, just personal enough to feel intentional. You went behind my back, I said. Nyah smiled slow. No, she corrected. I walked through a door you left open. She stood then, closed the space between us, her body close but not touching, like she wanted me aware of what I wasn't getting. You stressing, she whispered. Bills, kids, streets pulling at you again? She reached out, thumb grazing my jaw, light enough to make my skin react. I make all that quiet. That's the hook. Then she pulled her hand away, but only if I feel secure. There it was. I stood up. You playing games. She stepped back, eyes hard now. No, she said. I'm playing to win. That night she let me stay but not get close. Let me feel her presence without relief. Let frustration sit heavy in my chest. Control don't always look like taking. Sometimes it looked like denying. Next morning, Aaliyah called, voice tight, controlled, dangerous. She knew what school my kids go to, she said. You tell her that? My heart dropped. I don't talk about, she mentioned my probation papers, Aaliyah cut in. You tell her about your case? That 10-year-old memory flared up again, sharp and hot. No, I said, but doubt crept in even as I said it. Aaliyah exhaled slow. You bringing chaos to my door, she said, and I won't let my kids pay for your weakness. She hung up. When I confronted Nyah, she didn't deny nothing. She just crossed her arms and leaned against the counter. Relax, she said. I ain't called nobody. I just did my homework. My chest tightened. You digging into my life now? She stepped forward. I invest in what I'm attached to, she said. And right now, you attached to me whether you admit it or not. She closed the distance then, pressed herself close just long enough for my body to remember why I kept coming back. Then she pulled away again. You want to keep living two lives? She asked. Fine, but don't forget who got leverage. I left angry. I left wanting. Worst combination there is. That night, Tone texted me the address for the next run, and for the first time since that courtroom 10 years ago, I felt the walls start closing back in. I meet her on accident. That's how most troubles start. I'm outside the gas station on Campbellton, late afternoon heat sitting low and sticky, mind already halfway on the streets even though I ain't touched nothing yet. Tone texted me the address for the run earlier that day. No details, just time and place. Same way we used to do it. I'm telling myself I'm just grabbing a drink. That's when I see her. Chocolate skin, clean and deep like it soak up the sun instead of fight it. Confident sitting on her shoulders like she born with it. Not loud, not thirsty, just together in a way you notice without trying. She walked past me, keys in hand. Audi RS7, matte finish, low growl when it unlocked. Not rented, not borrowed, owned. I clock it immediately. A woman with her shit together in a world full of borrowed dreams. She catch me looking and don't flinch. Problem? She asked, half smile, eyebrow raised. Nah, I say, just admiring good taste. She laughed once, short, controlled. Most men admire louder. I ain't most men. She studied me for a second like she deciding if I worth the time. That look remind me of courtrooms, of judges, of people who decide things. I'm Keese, I say. Imani, she reply. 21, I find out later. Old enough to know better, young enough to still believe in forward motion. She leaned against the car, casual. You always hang around gas stations? She asked. Only when I'm thinking too much. She nod like that makes sense. I'm headed to work, she say. Late shift. I don't ask where. A woman like her ain't explaining herself to strangers. You got a number? I ask. She don't hesitate. Hand me her phone. That depends, she say. You bringing problems or peace? I pause. Both, I answer honestly. She smiled wider this time. That's what I thought. She get in the Audi and pull off smooth, like her life ain't got no potholes. My phone vibrates right after. Tone, you ready? I look at the screen, then at the road, then at the drink I never bought. 3 women in my orbit now. One tied to my past, one using me in the present, one representing a future I probably don't deserve, and the streets sitting there like they patient. Nightfall quick. I pull up to the spot Tone sent, an apartment complex I know too well. Same cracked concrete, same broken lights, same corners where bad decisions wait like old friends. Tone already there, leaning on his car, calm as ever. Thought you changed your mind, he say. Just making sure this worth it, he smirk. It always worth it till it ain't. We walk through it fast, no small talk, no nostalgia. He hand me a package small enough to disappear in my hoodie. Muscle memory kick in like it never left. My heart start beating different. Not fast, focused. I scan faces, movements, shadows. 10 years ago come rushing back. Cuffs, courtroom, judge saying slack like mercy got an expiration date. You good? Tone asks. Yeah, I say. I lie easy. The exchange goes smooth. Too smooth. Money in my hand again. That weight feel familiar. Dangerous. Satisfying in a way legit jobs never been. As I walk back to the car, sirens echo somewhere far off. My phone buzz. Nyah, you busy? I don't answer. Another buzz. Aaliyah, we need to talk. Now. Then one more. Unknown number. This Imani. You make it through your overthinking? I sit in the driver's seat, engine off, money tucked away, probation clock ticking in my head like it never stopped. First run back on the block complete, and already everybody wants something from me. I sit in the Chevy with the engine still warm, money tucked where it don't belong, phone buzzing like it got opinions. I stare at the screen for a second before I type. I thought you wasn't gonna text. 3 dots pop up fast. Why you say that? I smile without meaning to. Figured a woman like you forget people quick. A few seconds pass, long enough to feel judged. Nah, I remember energy. Then I type it, simple and reckless. I was thinking about you. Dots again, this time slower. I hope it was good thoughts. My phone rings before I can answer. Her name on the screen. I pick up. Hey, she say, voice smooth, confident and sexy, no hesitation. Hey, I answer. That one word stretching to an hour. We don't rush nothing. She tell me about work, real job, real stress, real plans. I tell her pieces of my life, edited but honest enough to feel intimate. We laugh, we pause, we let silence breathe instead of panicking it away. You always this quiet? She asks. Only when I'm listening. She hum low on the other end. I like that, she say. Men usually just wait to talk. Conversations slide where it naturally go. Compliments turn personal. Tone drop, words slow down. Not explicit, just felt. You got a voice that sound like trouble, she say. I smirk. You say that like you scared. I ain't scared, she reply. I'm curious. That words sit heavy. By the time we hang up, my mind already somewhere else. 10 minutes later, she texts. I'm free tomorrow night. Another text right after. Around 11? Then the address. Buckhead. Clean streets, cameras, valet energy. A whole different Atlanta than the one I grew up in. Bet, I'll see you then. I lock the phone. That's when life remind me I don't get to enjoy nothing in peace. Aaliyah called next. I already know the tone. Do you have some money for the kids? She asked. No hello, no warm up. Yeah, I say. I'll bring it soon. She sighed, tired, not relieved. Saying soon don't pay nobody, she say, but I'm holding you to it. She hang up before I can promise more. Seconds later, tone text. Got another job, quick, easy, fast money. I stare at the message, then type. I'm in, text me time and place. Reply come back fast, 9 p.m. I nod to myself. Good, plenty time, plenty space. Then Nyah call. I let it ring twice, 3 times, answer on 4. You coming over later? She asks. No greeting, just expectation. No, I say, flat, pause. What you got going on? She asks, voice already sharpening. Things. She laughed once, cold. Since when you start having things that don't include me? I just do tonight. Silence, then real quiet. You slipping, Keese. I'm busy. She hang up. I don't call back. Instead, I look at the time. 9 p.m. for Tone, 11 p.m. for Imani. Money first, desire after. That's the plan. Plans always look good till Atlanta start moving. I call out of work the next day. Didn't even fake a cough. Just texted the supervisor. Won't make it in. For once, the grind ain't what's on my mind. I'm laying on the couch mid-morning, TV on mute, sun cutting through the blinds in thin lines, and all I can see is Imani's walk from yesterday. The way she moved like she knew people watched but didn't perform for it. The Audi lights blinking. The confidence. The way her voice dropped when the conversation got slower. 11 o'clock tonight. Buckhead. Clean pavement, no liquor store loitering, no sirens singing every 15 minutes. Different air. But before that, 9 p.m. Tone. I run the numbers in my head. The job quick, cash fast. Drop the money to Aaliyah, slide to Buckhead like I ain't got dirt on my hands. That's the plan. Plans don't account for emotion. My phone start buzzing around 5. It's Nyah. I let it ring. Buzz again. Ring again. She don't text first. She call. Over and over. I flip the phone face down on the table like that'll quiet her energy. It don't. Finally it stop. Then the voicemail notification pop up. I shouldn't press play. I do anyway. Her voice ain't soft. "So you can't answer 'cause you with your baby mama?" she say, tone sharp enough to slice the skin. "That's cool. Keep playing like I'm stupid. Watch what's gonna happen." Click. No yelling, no crying, just promise. I sit there a second longer than I should. Nyah don't bluff. She escalate. Around 7, I grab the envelope of cash from last night and head to Aaliyah's place. I ain't trying to argue, ain't trying to stay, just drop it and leave. But when I pull up, there's a car parked outside I ain't never seen before. Black Charger, tint dark, engine still warm. My stomach tightened before I even step out. I walk up the stairs slow, knock once, door open quick. And there he stand, tall, built, gold chain heavy against his chest, beard trim precise, looking like dude who spent years down the road, eyes already looking at me like he waited for this. "So you the punk-ass deadbeat baby daddy," he say, voice calm but disrespect thick in it. I don't flinch. Before I can answer, Aaliyah stepped between us fast. "Stop it, Ricco," she snapped. Ricco. Richardo, probably. But Ricco sound like somebody who ain't scared of problems. He don't move back, though. He look at her, then at me. "Who is this?" he asked, like he don't know but want it said out loud. Aaliyah exhales slow. "That's Marquise," she say. "He here to drop money." Ricco smirk. "Oh, he drop money now?" I step forward just enough. "Watch how you talk," I say. Aaliyah push her hand against my chest this time. "Not here," she say under her breath. Kids' voices float from the back room. That's the only reason I don't swing. I hold out the envelope. Aaliyah take it without looking at me. Ricco glanced down at it, unimpressed. "That all?" he asked. My jaw tightened. "It's what they need," I say. He laughed low. "Man, if you can't handle your responsibilities, just say that. Don't half-step." I take a breath, then another. Probation memory flash in my head. Judge, slack, 9 years hanging like a blade. Not worth it, not here. Aaliyah look at me different now. Not soft, not angry, measured. "You good?" she asked Ricco. "I'm straight," he say, but his eyes still locked on me. I turn to leave before it goes somewhere ugly. As I hit the stairs, my phone buzz again. Damn, Nyah. Then another buzz. Imani. 2 different worlds, 2 different kinds of danger. And 9 p.m. creeping closer. Back in the car, I sit there for a second, hands tight on the wheel. Ricco. That ain't random. That's a message. Somebody filling space I used to occupy. I check the time. 8:17 p.m. 43 minutes till Tone. 2 hours and change till Buckhead. And I can't afford for nothing to get in the way of seeing Imani tonight. Not Nyah's threats, not Ricco's smirk, not Aaliyah's silence. I start the engine, Atlanta night humming low, and I can feel everything about to collide. I'm halfway to the spot when I call her. Didn't plan to, didn't rehearse nothing, just dialed. She answered on the fourth ring. What? Aaliyah say. No softness left in her voice, no history either. You really gonna play me like that? I asked, jaw tight. Have that dude around my kids? Silence for a second. Then she laughed, not amused, tired. Play you? She say. Marquise, you been playing me for 2 years. That ain't what I'm talking about. You mean Ricco? She say his name clean, comfortable. Yeah, he been around. My grip tightened on the steering wheel. You don't even know him like that. She cut me off quick. I know enough. Her tone shift, harder now. I found a man that can handle my needs, she say. I ain't gotta compete with your side chick. I ain't gotta beg for attention. And I definitely ain't gotta wonder who you laying up with. I don't respond. She ain't finished. He take care of what's in front of him, she continued. And yeah, he can put it down too. I don't gotta remind him I'm a woman. That one land deep. You ain't been touching me right since you met Nyah, she add, lower now. Soon as you got a new body to run to, you stop coming home for real. The car feels smaller. So that's how it's gonna be? I ask. That's how it is, she reply. No hesitation, no space. Start paying child support, she say next. For real. Not envelopes when you feel like it. There ain't nothing between us no more. Line dead. I sit there at a red light, engine idling, chest tight like somebody just pressed a brick into it. Ricco. I pull up to the location Tone sent. Old warehouse near the railroad tracks. Same energy as always. Quiet in a way that ain't peaceful. Street lights flickering. Shadows longer than they supposed to be. Tone leaning against his car, hood up, acting like he working on something. You late, he say. Had to handle something, I reply. We move inside. Package already ready. Instructions quick. Hand off, no lingering. But my head ain't fully there. Tone notice. You look heated, he say. What happened? I hesitate. Then I say it. Ricco. Tone stopped moving. What about him? He at Aaliyah's place, I say. Around my kids. Tone stared at me for a long second. You sure? Yeah. He shake his head slow. She with Ricco? That's what it looked like. Tone whistle under his breath. Man, that dude ain't nothing to play with. I look at him. What you mean? Tone stepped closer, voice lower now. Back in the day, Ricco was the big dog. Whole Southwest ran through him before the feds grabbed him. How long? I ask. 15, Tone say. Did 15 straight. Kept quiet. His boys ran the business while he was down. My stomach shift. You serious? Tone nod. He came home with respect and money waiting, he say. You think we just freelancing? These little jobs? That's his pipeline. Silence hit heavy. These runs we doing, Tone continue, they for Ricco. He don't touch nothing directly, just collect. Everything in my chest tightened at once. You telling me I just stepped back in under him? Tone shrug. Technically, yeah. My mind start moving fast. Ricco at Aaliyah house. Ricco around my kids. Ricco bankrolling the same jobs I just agreed to run. Atlanta small when you in the wrong circles. And he got money? I ask. Tone laughed once. Mad money. I think about Aaliyah's voice, about her saying he handled responsibilities, about how calm he looked at the door. I ain't just losing her. I'm standing in another man's shadow, and he bigger than I thought. Tone clapped my shoulder. You good? He asked. I nod, but I ain't. Not even close. My phone buzz. Imani. You still good for tonight? I stare at the screen. 11 p.m. Buckhead. Clean lights. New energy. No history. But now I know something I didn't an hour ago. I ain't just juggling women. I'm standing between a man who used to own the streets and the same streets trying to own me again. I text back, "Yeah, I'm on my way soon. But for the first time tonight, I don't feel in control of nothing." The job went smooth. Too smooth. No sirens, no weird cars idling too long, no shaky hands, just a clean exchange and heavier pockets. Tone and I ended up back at the warehouse, sitting on overturned milk crates with a stack of cash spread across the hood like we were back in our 20s. Money smelled different when you ain't touched it in a while. Thick, promising, dangerous. Tone grinned, counting fast. "Told you," he said. "Easy." For the first time in a long time, my shoulders dropped. I could see it playing out clean in my head. Drop real money to Aaliyah, shut Ricco's smirk up, slide to Buckhead at 11 with pockets right, walk in like I belong anywhere I stand. For a second, it felt like things were turning, like maybe the streets ain't here to bury me. That feeling didn't last. Tone's phone buzzed first. He checked it. Face shifted. "What?" I asked. He didn't answer right away, just looked at me. "Ricco asking questions," he said finally. My stomach tightened. "About what?" "About new faces running product." I didn't blink. "That ain't new," I said. "He know we moving." Tone shook his head slow. "He knows somebody stepped back in." Silence settled heavy between us. "You mentioned me?" I asked. "Not by name," Tone said, but he asked specifically if anybody used to be around was back. Used to be around. That's me. Atlanta don't forget, and Ricco don't either. My phone buzzed. Damn, Nyah again. I stared at the screen, then answered. "What you want?" I said, flat. Wrong tone. I heard it the second it left my mouth. She went quiet, then her voice came back, sharp. "You gonna talk to me like that?" "I'm busy." "With who?" she snapped. "You think I'm stupid?" I rubbed my forehead. "What is it, Nyah?" Damn. "You out here playing me like I'm optional," she said. "Like I ain't been holding you down while you running between houses." "Holding me down?" I said. "You been stirring up mess." She laughed, cold. "Don't let me call my uncle." That made me pause. "Your uncle?" I said. "What he gonna do?" Her tone shifted. Dead serious. "My Uncle Ricco will handle you for disrespecting me." Everything in me went still. "What you just say?" "You heard me," she said. "Ricco my blood." My chest felt like it dropped through the floor. I couldn't escape this man's name. Aaliyah fucking him, Tone working under him, now damn Nyah connected by blood. Life can't stack irony this tight. "You lying," I said. "I don't lie about family," she replied. "You think I move how I move for no reason? You think I ain't protected?" Pieces started clicking. Her confidence, her fearlessness, the way she never flinched when I mentioned the block. Ricco wasn't just random power. He was woven through everything. "You better fix your tone with me," she continued, "before I let my uncle know you've been disrespectful." I looked at Tone. He was watching my face change. "What?" he mouthed. I couldn't even respond. On the phone, Nyah's breathing slowed. "You think you juggling women," she said softly, "but you juggling bloodlines." Click. She hung up. I lowered the phone slowly. Tone stared at me. "What happened?" I swallowed once. "Nyah's uncle. Ricco." Tone blinked. "Man, stop playing." "I ain't." Tone leaned back, ran a hand over his beard. "That explains a lot," he muttered. Everything that felt like it was turning up an hour ago now felt like a trap tightening. Ricco wasn't just a rival. He wasn't just a baby mama upgrade. He wasn't just a boss behind the scenes. He was everywhere, and I had just stepped back into his pipeline. My phone buzzed again. Imani. You still coming? I looked at the stack of money, looked at Tone, looked at the dark warehouse ceiling. Buckhead felt far away now, but I texted back anyway. On my way, because if my life was about to burn down, I wasn't missing 11 o'clock. On the drive to Buckhead, Atlanta looked different. Downtown lights shining clean, streets smoother, less sirens, more Teslas, but my mind wasn't on the city. It was on Imani. Her walk, her voice, the way she said, "I remember," energy. I flicked the radio on to drown out my thoughts, and like the universe had jokes, "She's a Brick House" came on. I laughed under my breath. Damn right, I muttered, because she was. Not just body, though yeah, that too, but structure, foundation, solid. The kind of woman that don't need saving, and that scared me more than anything. As I drove, another thought crept in. If this work out, if she real about me, I can't be half in the streets, can't be ducking probation ghosts, can't be tied to drama and bloodlines. A woman like her don't date confusion. She upgrade or she leave. By the time I reached the address she sent, my heart was beating like I was 22 again, but not from fear, from possibility. The entrance was gated. Security booth lit up. Guard stepped out, clipboard in hand. "Who you here to see?" he asked. "Nyah Carter," I replied. He scanned the list, looked at me, then nodded. "You on the list?" The gate rolled open slow. I whispered to myself, "Damn, this chick a high roller." I drove through manicured landscaping, fountains lit up soft blue. Nothing like Campbellton. Nothing like the warehouse. This was magazine living. When I pulled up to the building entrance, she was already there. And Lord, tight jeans hugging her hips like they were custom stitched. The curve of her body unapologetic. Her shape strong, balanced. The kind that made men look twice and pretend they didn't. Her top fitted just right. Nothing vulgar, nothing desperate, just confident. She didn't wave, she just smiled, and that was enough. "Hey," she said when I stepped out. "Hey," I answered, trying not to stare too hard. She turned and walked toward the door, and yeah, I noticed the way she moved, controlled, no rush, every step deliberate. Inside her apartment felt like a magazine spread, floor-to-ceiling windows, clean lines, soft lighting, art on the walls that probably cost more than my Chevy. I stood there for a second, just taking it in. "You like it?" she asked. "You live like this?" I said. She smirked. "I work like this." She disappeared into the kitchen and came back with 2 glasses, something dark and smooth, set out small plates, finger food, but classy, not gas station snacks, real presentation. We sat on the couch, talked, not surface talk either, real conversation, about ambition, about discipline, about growing up in Atlanta but wanting more than it offers. She asked me questions that made me think before answering, and I didn't rush her, didn't lean in too quick, didn't reach. In my mind, I told myself, she worth the wait. For the first time in a long time, I wasn't trying to escape something. I was trying to build toward something. We laughed easy, conversation flowing for over an hour. Then she leaned back, crossed her legs, studying me. "Do you know what I do?" she asked. "You said law," I replied. She nodded. "I'm a lawyer." I raised an eyebrow. "For real?" "For real," she smiled. "Corporate and criminal defense." That word hit different. Criminal. "My dad owns the firm," she added casually. "He's a judge, too." Something inside me tightened. "Yeah?" I asked, trying to keep my face neutral. She nodded again. "Superior Court." My pulse slowed. "What's his name?" I asked carefully. She said it. and the room went quiet in my head. Same judge, 10 years ago. Courtroom cold. My mama crying. Prosecutor pushing for 10. And that man looked down at me and said, 1 year to serve, 9 on probation. Slack. I swallowed slow. You okay? She asked. I forced a smile. Yeah. But inside, Atlanta wasn't just small. It was folding in on me. The judge who spared me, his daughter sitting inches away, her knee brushing mine, her world clean, mine dirty at the edges. And suddenly, everything felt heavier. Not because of lust, not because of streets, but because fate don't play random. She lifted her glass. To good decisions, she said softly. I clinked mine against hers, and for the first time all night, I didn't know which direction mine were headed. I left Buckhead that night feeling like I had just stepped out of somebody else's life. The air smelled different up there, cleaner, quieter. No loud mufflers fighting for attention, no dice games on folding tables, no young boys leaning on corners watching every car like it owed them money. I sat in my Chevy for a minute before turning the key. Imani's building glowing behind me, her laugh still in my ears, her perfume still faint on my hoodie. I felt two things at once, scared and certain. Scared because her world was polished marble and courtroom wood, structured, stable. Certain because when she looked at me, she wasn't judging, she was studying me, and that hit deeper. The next morning, I barely slept, not because of lust, because of legacy. Her father's name kept circling my head, the judge who gave me that break 10 years ago, the man who looked down at me while my mama cried in the back row and decided I wasn't worth 10 years. 1 year to serve, 9 on probation. Now I'm sitting on his daughter's couch, drinking something expensive I can't pronounce. Life funny like that. My phone buzzed before my alarm even went off. Damn, Nyah again. Fuck. I stared at it, let it ring twice before I answered. What? Her voice came sharp. Why you avoiding me? I ain't avoiding you. You ain't answer all night. I was busy. With who? I rubbed my face. Already tired. I need to see you after work. We gotta talk. For what? When I see you. Silence. Don't play with me, Marquise. I ended the call before she could start digging. I was halfway to work when my phone buzzed again. Imani. Good morning, sir. How did you sleep last night? I smiled without meaning to. Nobody calls me sir. Nobody asks how I slept unless they trying to start something. I typed back, I had a dream about you last night. 3 dots popped up quick. I hope it was good. With you? It's all good. I stared at the screen longer than I should have. First time in a long time somebody talked to me gentle without trying to pull something out of me. But even smiling, that judge's name stayed in my head. How do I tell her? By the way, your dad once decided whether I lived free or behind bars. Not first date conversation. I pulled into the job parking lot and just sat there, engine running, watching dudes drag themselves inside like we all serving quiet sentences. I don't want this life no more. Don't want to be punching clocks and punching down dreams. Don't want Nyah's chaos. Don't want to be the baby daddy with excuses. Aaliyah moved on, found somebody with muscle, money, and a whole lot of power. That hurt my pride more than anything. And then this girl, Nyah brings heat, booty, drama, fire with no foundation. You can't build nothing stable on somebody who thrives in instability. I leaned my head back against the seat. I need out. Need something clean enough that Imani can look at me without wondering what I'm hiding. Maybe one more move, one more bag, settle debts, pay Aaliyah right, stack enough to breathe, then walk away. My phone rang. Tone. "What's good?" I answered. "I got something big," he said, voice low. "How big?" "Big enough we don't gotta touch nothing for a minute." I sat up straighter. 150 each. I blinked. "Stop playing. I'm dead serious." "Where?" "New York." Silence. "What's the catch?" "Timing tight, people serious, and this ain't no small boys involved." That meant real players, real consequences. I stared at the steering wheel. $150,000. That kind of money changes conversations. I could pay Aaliyah without her threatening court, get fully right financially, quit this dead-end job for good, step into Imani's world without feeling small. Tone said, "This the type of move you either step into or watch other people level up." I closed my eyes. I pictured Imani raising her glass to good decisions. I pictured Nyah saying, "Don't let me call my uncle." Ricco's name echoing in my head like a warning. Everything connecting back to him. Everything circling. If I make this move, I could be free. If I don't, I'm stuck clocking in forever. "You in?" Tone asked. $150,000. New York. A door out. Or a deeper trap. "Yeah," I said. "I'm in." I hung up and sat there for a long time before going inside. One more big hit. Then I quit. Settle with Aaliyah. End things with Nyah. And maybe, just maybe, be the kind of man Imani deserves. But Atlanta don't let you leave clean. Every time I try to rise, the streets tighten their grip. After work that evening, I drove straight to Nyah's spot. No music, no distractions, just thoughts colliding in my head. Imani's softness, Ricco's shadow, Tone's New York call, and Nyah. Always Nyah. When I pulled up to her crib, the porch light was already on. She opened the door before I could knock. Tight shorts, tank top, no bra, hair wrapped up but edges laid sharp. She leaned against the frame like she owned the building. "What you want to talk about?" she asked, voice calm, too calm. I stepped inside. "I know about Ricco," I said. Her eyebrow lifted slightly. "What about him?" "He's sleeping with Aaliyah." She didn't flinch. "I know." That stopped me. "You know?" She shut the door slow behind me. "Yeah, I know." I stared at her. "You ain't think to say nothing?" She folded her arms. "I tried to warn you, but you hard-headed. Always think you the last to know." My chest tightened. "And that ain't all," she continued. "What else?" She walked over to the couch, grabbed her phone, tossed it at me. "Scroll." I looked down. Messages. Aaliyah's name at the top. I opened it. "Don't tell him about Ricco yet. He don't need to know who he working for." My jaw locked. "You see," Nyah said, "she been new. I been new." The room felt smaller. "You knew me and Tone was running for him too?" She nodded slowly. "Everybody know but you, apparently." That hit deeper than it should have. I paced once across the living room. "You should have told me." She laughed. "Told you what? That the same man your baby mama fucking is the one funding your little comeback? That you working under him like a pawn?" Her eyes were cold now. "Welcome back to the real Atlanta." I stopped pacing. "So what you want?" I asked. She looked at me long and steady. "I don't want you like that." That threw me. "What you mean?" "I don't want no relationship. I don't want to be your girl. I don't want to build nothing." Her voice was flat, honest. "I just wanted you for what you give." "And what's that?" She stepped closer. "Good dick." The word sat heavy. She tilted her head slightly. "You ain't stable. You ain't settled. You still got streets in you. That's what I like. But I don't want to own it." I felt something twist in my chest. So that's it? That's it, she paused. I know about New York too. My head snapped up. What? You and Tone got something big coming. Be careful. How you? She cut me off. Connections. Silence stretched between us. Then she said it. I'll let you go. I blinked. Let me go. Free. No calls, no drama, no popping up, no more me. Something about the way she said it felt final. But, she added, I should have known. One condition. I waited. One last night. The air changed. One last time, she said quietly. Then you free. I swallowed. If I do this, I walk away clean. No strings, no late night calls, no threats, no chaos. I can focus on Imani, build something real. I heard myself whisper, if I sleep with Nyah one last time, I'm free. She heard it too. You asking me or telling yourself, she said. I rubbed my face. Can I shower? She nodded toward the hallway. Go ahead. The water hit my back and I stood there longer than I needed to, trying to wash off confusion, trying to wash off street dust, trying to convince myself this was closure. When I stepped out, towel low on my waist, steam still rising from my skin, she was standing there, watching. No softness in her eyes, just hunger mixed with something darker. You think you just walking away? She said low. She stepped in close, fingers sliding down my chest slowly, deliberately. When I'm done with you tonight, she whispered near my ear, you'll never forget me. Her grip tightened, possessive. It wasn't love. It wasn't romance. It was heat, pride, territory, Atlanta-type energy, where goodbye don't come sweet. And as she pulled me toward her, I knew this wasn't about pleasure. It was about imprint, about reminding me who she was before I tried to erase her. And part of me understood. Some ties don't break clean. They scar. She grabbed my dick and went to town on it. Damn, this girl knows how to suck a dick. Damn. I went back to my crib drained, not just tired, drained. Nyah don't do nothing halfway. Tonight wasn't about softness or goodbye kisses. It was raw, aggressive fucking, like she was trying to carve herself into my memory. Every touch felt like a statement. Every move felt like she was saying, you don't get to forget this pussy. I lay there, staring at the ceiling in the dark. Damn, I muttered to myself. Nyah got some good pussy. Damn. Hard to let that go, but I had to. Imani, my future, this last job with Tone, that's what mattered now. After this run, I could really step up for my kids. No more scrambling, no more excuses. Real support, real money. That's what a man's supposed to do. My phone rang. Tone. It's a go, he said. Tomorrow, New York. I sat up. Bet. SUV already loaded. We drive up, drop off, rent another ride, and head back to the A. Clean and simple. What time? I'm at your door 4 a.m. We hitting I-85 north before the city wake up. That's the plan, I said. After we hung up, I stared at my phone for a second. Then it buzzed again. Imani. What you doing? I hesitated. On the phone with my fam. She replied quick. Everything okay? I typed slower this time. Yeah, I gotta take a quick trip to NYC. Gonna see my uncle before he pass. Family stuff. 3 dots. Safe trip. I'll be thinking about you. I swallowed. Damn, I whispered to myself. I just lied to a woman I respect. That ain't me, or at least it ain't who I'm trying to be. It won't happen again. After this job, I'm done with lies, done with street shortcuts. I set my alarm and went to bed early, needed a clear head for that drive. 4 a.m. Knock at the door. Tome standing there in a hoodie, keys in hand. "You ready to go make this bread?" he said with that half grin. Bread. That word always hit sweet. "Yeah," I said, locking up behind me. We pulled onto the highway while Atlanta was still yawning, streetlights flickering, few trucks already rolling north. I called my job once we hit the open road. "Taking a personal 2-day, I said, kept it short, still feeling it from last night with Nyah. Body tired, mind racing. But once we hit South Carolina, then North Carolina, I started locking in. This is it. One clean run. Then I shift my life. Tone handled most of the talking. We kept it light. No details out loud. Just music low and eyes on the road. But in my head, Imani. The way she said sir. The way her apartment smelled like money and peace. The way she looked at me like I wasn't just some dude trying to survive. By the time we hit New York, it was all business. Quick handoff, no drama, no tension, professional. Money transferred, confirmations made, in and out, just like Tone promised. On the way back to Atlanta, my pocket felt heavy, heavier than it ever been. $150,000. I leaned back in the rental seat and let it sink in. I could quit that job. I could pay Aaliyah straight. I could dead whatever ties still lingering with Nyah. I could walk into Imani's world different, not pretending, not scrambling, different. My phone buzzed while we were somewhere in Virginia. "Imani, when am I going to see you again?" I stared at the message, the future texting me while the past rode shotgun. Tone glanced over. "You smiling at that phone like you in love." I didn't answer him. I typed back, "Soon, real soon." And for the first time in a long time, I believed it. When I crossed back into Atlanta, I felt it. Relief. The kind that sit deep in your chest. That quiet fear I'd been carrying. Getting pulled over, something going left, somebody talking too much. It lifted once I saw that skyline again. We made it. Clean. No drama. When Tone dropped me off, we didn't even say much. Just a nod. Real ones don't celebrate out loud. The next morning, I woke up different. Lighter. I picked up my phone and called my job. My boss answered half asleep. "Yeah, I won't be coming back," I said. Silence. "What?" "I'm moving on. Found a new career path." That felt good to say. He tried asking questions. I kept it short. "I appreciate the opportunity," and I hung up. For the first time in years, I wasn't clocking in for somebody else. My phone rang 10 minutes later. Aaliyah. "You got money for the kids?" she asked. No hello. "Yeah," I said. "I'll be there soon." Straight to business. On my way over, my phone buzzed again. "Damn, Nyah." I shook my head. "Damn, what you want now?" I answered. "I thought you said we were over." "We are," she said, calm. "Just checking on you." "Checking on what?" "How the job go? My fam tells me everything." That made my jaw tighten. "I'm good," I said. She laughed soft. "So you can go take care of your kids now?" I said I'm good. She paused. "Be careful thinking you free," she said quietly before hanging up. I didn't like that. When I pulled up, I saw it before I even parked. Brand new Hellcat, blacked out, black rims, shining like it just rolled off the showroom floor. I stepped out slow. "That ain't Ricco's," I muttered. I walked up and knocked. Aaliyah opened the door. She looked good. Too good. "How you doing, Aaliyah?" I said. "I see your man here again?" "He's not," she replied flat. I nodded toward the driveway. "Then whose car that?" She folded her arms slightly. "Mine." I blinked. "Yours?" "Yes, and that's how a man's supposed to take care of his woman." That hit. I reached inside my jacket and handed her the envelope. She weighed it in her hand. "What's this for?" You upgrade, I said. Open it. She smirked. It's heavy. Must be all $1 bills. Which stripper you rob? She opened it. The smile faded for a second, then came back wider. Stacks of hundreds, fresh bands wrapped tight. She looked up at me slow. You back selling again? I didn't answer, didn't defend, didn't explain. I just turned and started walking back to my car. Behind me, I heard her say, softer this time, Marquise. I paused without turning around. That's 30 grand, I said, for my kids. Then I kept walking. Didn't look back. Didn't need to. For the first time, I wasn't begging. I wasn't arguing. I wasn't explaining. I was providing. And whether she respected it or feared it, that wasn't my concern anymore. As I got in my car, my phone buzzed again. Imani. How was your trip? I looked at the Hellcat one more time. Looked at the house I used to live in. Looked at the envelope that was no longer in my hand. Then I typed back, productive. And for once, it really was. As I pulled off from Aaliyah's house, I reached in my pocket and pulled out that same $5 bill, edges worn, fold lines deep. I'm keeping this, I said to myself. Reminder. Reminder of where I started. Reminder of what I can't go back to. My phone rang. Imani. I answered quick. How you doing, gorgeous? Her voice wasn't playful. I need to talk to you. My stomach tightened. What I do now? I tried to joke. Come to my house. No smile in her tone. Bet, I'm on the way. I hung up and whispered, Buckhead, here I come. I-285 North. As I merged onto 285, my mind started racing. Why face to face? Why serious? Did she feel something off? Did she know about New York? Did she hear something? The closer I got to her exit, the heavier my chest felt. This wasn't street nervous. This was different. This was losing something real nervous. Her door. She opened it before I knocked twice, and damn. Short red skirt hugging her hips, low-cut top, soft skin glowing under that apartment lighting. Everything about her screamed controlled confidence. I caught myself staring. She caught me too. Come in, she said, her tone calm. Too calm. I stepped inside. She walked to the kitchen island and sat on one of the stools. I sat beside her. Close enough I can smell her perfume. Far enough to feel distance. She folded her hands together. What is it you wanted to talk to me about? I asked carefully. She looked at me soft. Well, you know I like you, right? I hope so, I said, trying to ease it. She didn't smile. Since I invited you into my life, she continued, I wanted to know a little more about you before we get too close. I swallowed. My mouth felt dry. Well, you know I'm a lawyer, she said, and I was doing some digging. My heart started pounding, and I found out you were arrested in the past. My chest dropped. Imani, let me explain. She lifted her hand. Let me finish. Her voice wasn't angry. It was controlled. I know everything about your past. Silence swallowed the room. I know about the charge. I know about the plea. I know about the sentence. My hands felt cold. And I also know, she said slowly, locking eyes with me, that my father was the judge who gave you that deal. There it was. No more hiding. No more pretending. The air between us felt thick. I looked down at the marble countertop. I wasn't going to hurt you, I said quietly. I just didn't know how to tell you. She studied my face. You were going to tell me? Yes. When? I didn't have an answer fast enough. Her jaw tightened slightly. You lied about New York, she added. That hit harder. What? You said you were visiting your uncle. She leaned closer. There's no uncle. She already knew. Of course she did. You're trying to change, she said. I can see that. But you're still halfway in something you won't say out loud. I ran my hand over my head. I'm trying to get out, I admitted. I swear I am. She looked at me for a long moment. I don't care about your past, she said finally. Everybody has one. Relief flickered. But I care about your present. That flicker faded. Are you still involved? She asked quietly. The truth sat heavy in my throat. This was the moment. Lie again and lose her later. Tell the truth and maybe lose her now. I looked at her, really looked at her. I just finished something, I said slowly. Something I needed to do so I could walk away. Her eyes searched mine. Is it done? I hesitated a fraction too long. She noticed. She slid off the stool. That's what scares me, she said softly. It's never just done. The distance between us felt wider now. Not physical, emotional. I like you, Marquise, she said, but I can't build with secrets. My chest felt tight. For the first time, money didn't feel powerful. It felt small. She stood there looking at me like she wasn't scared at all, like she already made a decision. Well, Imani said, I know a way to clear up your past. I blinked. What you mean? I know how to get your record cleared. My heart skipped. That don't just happen. It can, she said, if you know how to reopen a case. I stared at her. How? She leaned back against the counter, arms folded but relaxed. My father is retiring soon, she said, and he's been saying he wants to do something meaningful before he steps down, something that matters. I didn't like where this was going. What that got to do with me? We reopen your case, she said. We look for procedural errors, improper handling, faulty evidence chain. There are always cracks if you dig deep enough. She looked me dead in my eyes. If we find one strong enough, we file a motion. Conviction gets thrown out. My chest tightened. Then what? Then you're free and clear. Free and clear. No arrest record shadowing me, no courtroom history, no label, just clean. My heart dropped instead of lifted. I can't go back in the courtroom, I said. My voice didn't sound like mine. I can't sit in front of him again. She stepped closer. You won't be alone. I shook my head. You don't understand what that room felt like. I do, she said. More than you think. I swallowed hard. I'll represent you, she continued. I'll stand in front of my father. I'll remind him of what he said, that he wanted to do something good before he retires. She wasn't asking, she was planning. For the first time since New York, I felt real fear. Not street fear, not police lights fear, future fear. What if he says no? I asked. She held my face gently. Don't worry, she said. I'm having dinner with him tonight. I'll tell him everything. Everything. The word echoed. You telling him about me? I asked. I'm telling him about a man who deserves a second chance. The way she said it made my throat tight. Before I could respond, she stepped into me and kissed me. Not soft, not teasing, intentional, passionate, like she was sealing something. When she pulled back, her forehead rested against mine. I'm protecting my future, she said, and you're part of it. My chest felt heavy. Nobody ever said that to me before. Nobody ever planned me into their tomorrow. But all I could think about was one thing. If her father digs deep enough, he won't just find the old case, he might find the present. And if that happens, this clean slate she's offering could turn into a final sentence. When I left Imani's place, my mind wouldn't slow down. Clear my record. Stand in front of her father again. Let her represent me. I gripped the steering wheel tighter as I merged back onto 285. How am I supposed to face this man again? I muttered. Last time I saw him, I was in cuffs. Now I'm dealing with his daughter. Not just dealing with her, caring about her. That's worse. He looked down at me once and decided my future. Now I'm in his daughter's life, talking about building something. If he thinks I'm playing her, it's over. I need to be alone, I said to myself. No clubs, no calls, no distractions. Just me and my thoughts. I went back to my crib and laid on the couch staring at the ceiling. For the first time, the streets weren't what scared me. It was the courtroom. Meanwhile, dinner in Buckhead. Imani pulled up to her father's house right on time. Big brick home, quiet street, old Atlanta money. She walked in and kissed him on the cheek. "Hey, Daddy." He smiled. "There's my favorite lawyer." They sat at the dining table like they promised they would years ago. Family dinner every week, no matter what. Something they started after her mom passed. It was their ritual. Halfway through dinner, her father leaned back. "So," he said, "when are you going to settle down and give me some grandbabies?" Imani smiled. "Babies? Daddy, I'm not having babies. Maybe one." He laughed. "Well, one is a start." She played with her fork for a second. "I met someone," she said carefully. His eyebrow lifted. "Oh?" "He's not the type of man you'd expect." Her father set his glass down. "Go on." She took a breath. "Remember you said before you retire you want to do something good for someone?" He nodded. "I did." "Well," she continued, "the man I'm seeing has a past." Her father didn't react, just listened. "You gave him a break years ago," she said. That got his attention. "Oh?" "He's trying to turn his life around," she added quickly. "He's not the same person." Silence. She leaned forward slightly. "I truly like this man. I see a future with him." Her father studied her face the way only a father can, the kind of look that measures sincerity. He was the type of man who would move mountains if it meant protecting his daughter's happiness. Finally, he spoke. "You know what to do." She blinked. "What?" "Open the case," he said. "Find your error. Bring it before me in court. I'll see what I can do." Her chest eased. "Really?" He nodded once. "I promised your mother before she passed that I would always support you. That hasn't changed." Imani reached across the table and squeezed his hand. "Thank you." "But," he added, voice shifting into judge mode, "you need to move quickly." "Why?" "I have a major case coming up," he said. "Once it starts, my courtroom will be tied up for a long time." She frowned slightly. "What kind of case?" He leaned back in his chair. "I'm about to sign an order for a major drug bust in Southwest Atlanta." Her fork paused midair. "It's been under investigation for a long time," he continued. "Large operation, multiple players. When it comes down, a lot of people are going to go down with it." Imani felt a strange chill. "Soon?" she asked. "Very soon," he replied. "Once I sign the order, there's no turning back." He picked up his glass again. "Why? That bother you?" She forced a small smile. "No," she said. "Just sounds big." He nodded. "It is." And across the city, lying on his couch trying to quiet his thoughts, I had no idea that a pen was about to move. And that pen could sign away everything. The next morning, my phone rang before I even got out of bed. Imani. I answered with sleep still in my voice. "Yeah." "Babe, I have good news," she said. I paused. "Babe?" I asked. "I thought you were mad at me." She laughed softly. "I'm not mad at you. I told you. I'm protecting my future." Future. There that word go again. Nobody ever said that word with me included in it. I'm reopening your case today, she continued. I'll get it in front of my dad by tomorrow. My heart sank. Tomorrow? That fast? Yes. I sat up on the edge of my bed. Why are you doing this for me? I asked. There was a pause. Because I'm falling for you, she said quietly, and I want you to be mine without anything hanging over your head. My throat tightened. Nobody ever tried to clean my past for me. Nobody ever fought for me like that. I'm heading to the courthouse now, she said. I'll call you later. The line went dead. I just sat there. Court. Again. My phone rang around 3 p.m. Imani. You ready for tomorrow? She asked. Ready for what? Silence. You're meeting my dad. My stomach dropped. Where? At the courthouse. I stood up like the floor shocked me. I have court tomorrow? Yes. Imani, things moving too fast. You said you wanted a clean slate, she replied. This is how you get it. My chest felt tight. The last time I walked into that building, I was in cuffs. Now I'm walking in free, hoping to stay that way. I barely slept. Every worst-case scenario ran through my mind. What if he changes his mind? What if he looks at me and sees the same kid from 10 years ago? What if he thinks I'm playing his daughter? The courthouse looked the same. Big steps, cold walls, echoes in the hallway. Imani met me at the entrance. She looked calm, professional, hair pulled back, suit sharp. You good? She asked. I nodded. Lie. We walked into the courtroom together. Her father was already seated. Same presence, same heavy gaze. He looked at me longer than I was comfortable with, like he remembered, like he never forgot. Imani presented the motion clean, confident. She pointed out procedural errors, evidence chain issues, technicalities I didn't understand. I just stood there trying to breathe. Her father flipped through the paperwork slowly. The room felt like it had no oxygen. Finally, he looked up. Mr. Marquise. Hearing my name like that again almost took me back 10 years. He adjusted his glasses. I reviewed the motion and the supporting findings. Pause. Imani's hand brushed mine lightly under the table. Then he said the words. Your prior conviction is hereby vacated. My ears rang. He continued. Mr. Marquise, your case is dismissed. For a second I didn't move, didn't blink, didn't breathe. Dismissed. Just like that. No record, no shadow, no stain. Imani squeezed my hand tighter. Her father looked at me directly. Second chances, he said firmly, are not invitations to repeat mistakes. I nodded. Yes, sir. And for the first time in my life, the system didn't feel like it was waiting on me to fail. It felt like a door. When we stepped outside the courthouse, Imani threw her arms around me. You're free, she whispered. Free. No cuffs, no probation, no past on paper. But as I held her, one thought crept in. The streets don't erase records just because the court does. And somewhere in Southwest Atlanta, an investigation was closing in. I went back to my crib and just laid there staring at the ceiling. Dismissed. That word kept replaying in my head. 10 years of something hanging over me, gone in one sentence. I should have felt lighter. I did, but not all the way. Because freedom on paper ain't the same as freedom in real life. My phone buzzed. Imani. Hey babe, she said, voice soft and excited. Congratulations again. I smiled. Still don't feel real. It is real, she replied, and I want to celebrate. Oh yeah? Yes, I'm taking you somewhere. Where? Our family getaway home on Tybee Island. I sat up. Tybee? Yes, beach, privacy, just us. Just us. No streets, no Ricco, no tone, no past. I'm in, I said. We leave tomorrow, she added. Pack light. After we hung up, I lay back smiling at the ceiling like an idiot. Tybee Island, ocean air, her, peace. For once, life felt like it was turning towards something good. Then my phone rang again. Tone. I answered. What's good? We got another job tomorrow, he said. Quick move, 50 each. I closed my eyes. Tone. I just made plans. I can't disappoint my girl. He sucked his teeth. Bro, I'm serious. Silence. Aight, he said finally. But I need a favor. What? My crib got hit. What? Broken into. They was looking for money. My stomach tightened. Looking? Yeah, they ain't find what they was looking for. That meant somebody talking. I need you to hold something for me while I make this trip, Tone said. I hesitated. How much? I'll pull up. An hour later, he was outside. He stepped in carrying a black backpack, dropped it on my kitchen table. The weight of it alone told me this wasn't small. I unzipped it. Stacks. Rows of vacuum-sealed bricks of cash. Tone, I said low. How much is in here? About 2 million, maybe a little more. My hands froze. For who? For Ricco. The air changed. That's not play money, I said. I know. And you want me to just hold it, just for a few days? I ran my hand over my face. Where you expect me to keep $2 million? At your spot, Tone said. Your name just got wiped clean. You the safest place right now. I thought fast. I'll keep it at my girl's house. Tone looked at me crazy. You trust her with that kind of money? I trust her with my life. He stared for a second, then laughed. Damn, bro, she got you pussy whipped. I smirked slightly. It ain't like that. Uh-huh. He zipped the bag back up. You sure you don't want to reschedule your trip and come make this 50? I shook my head. Nah, this trip worth more than money. He studied me. Hope you right. When he left, the apartment felt heavier. $2 million sitting on my table. Money tied to Ricco. Money that don't forgive mistakes. I stared at it for a long time. Then I started packing for Tybee. Shorts, slides, a couple clean fits, and that backpack. I told myself it was temporary, just a few days. Imani's house was gated, secure, cameras. No one would ever think to look there. I had no idea. While I was folding clothes, planning beach nights and soft mornings, I soon learned that her father had already signed the order. Operation Moving. Southwest Atlanta about to light up, and I was about to carry $2 million straight into the safest house in the city. I pulled up to Imani's crib, bags packed, mine half on the beach and half on that backpack sitting in my trunk. I knocked. She opened the door, and damn, short shorts, legs smooth, her ass poking out in the back, confidence dripping off her like perfume. She wrapped her arms around my neck and kissed me deep. This weekend, she whispered against my lips, you're all mine, and my pussy is wet just thinking about. The way she said it made something shift in me. We stepped inside. While she went to grab something from the kitchen, I moved quick, slid the backpack into a hallway closet behind some luggage, closed the door slow. Out of sight, out of mind. At least that's what I told myself. She came back smiling. She said, babe, ready for the best weekend you've ever had? Yeah, I said, trying to keep my voice steady. We hit the road not long after. I-16 East, destination Tybee. The highway stretched open in front of us. Windows cracked just enough for warm Georgia air to roll through. She rested her hand on my thigh while I drove. Then she moved to my dick. "You nervous?" she asked playfully. "About what?" "Being alone with me." I smirked. "You should be nervous." She laughed and leaned closer. "I've been waiting for this," she said quietly. My mind flashed back to every almost moment we had. Every look, every brush of hands. I'd never crossed that line with her, and that tension, it had been building. She pulls my dick out while I'm drive, lean over and start sucking on it. "Damn, Imani, you got head game like that." She looked up at me, smiled, and went back harder. By the time we reached the island, the sun was lowering, casting gold across the water. When we pulled up to the house, I had to sit back for a second. "This yours?" She smiled. "Family's." It was crazy, modern, glass everywhere, clean lines, private, nothing like where I came from. We pulled into the garage, door closed behind us with a heavy thud. Silence filled the space. She looked at me. "You know," she said softly, "I've been waiting for this moment since the first day we met." Her fingers traced along my jaw, the air between us thick. No rush, no outside noise, just us. She leaned in close and said, "Let us finish what we started in the car on the highway." She pulls her shorts off, no panties on. Then she climbs over while I was still sitting in the driver's seat, pulls her shirt over her head, and says she had been waiting for this moment from the first time we met. She pulls my dick out and slowly inserts it in her. "Damn, Imani, tight and wet." "Out here," she whispered, "there's no past, no courtrooms, no streets, just us." And for a second, I believed it. But even in that perfect moment, somewhere in the back of my mind, something felt off, like calm before something bigger. Early the next morning, I was laid back on the sofa, half watching some random morning show while Imani moved around the kitchen. The smell of bacon and coffee filled the Tybee air. It felt peaceful. Too peaceful. Then the red banner flashed across the screen. "Breaking news. Major drug bust and shootout in southwest Atlanta." My body went still. The volume on the TV seemed to get louder on its own. 4 men and 1 female in custody, 2 confirmed dead following a late-night sting operation. They started showing footage. Blue lights, yellow tape, SWAT vests, stretchers. One of the men in custody, identified as Ricco, my stomach tightened. Also arrested, Nyah Carter. Then the words that hit me in the chest like a shotgun blast. One of the deceased has been identified as Antonio Grant, known on the streets as Tone. I shot up off the couch. "Damn, babe, check this out," I said, my voice cracking. "I know those cats." Imani rushed in from the kitchen. "That's my boy Tone," I said, staring at the screen. "He gone. They killed him." For a second, I couldn't hear anything but blood rushing in my ears. It was real. While I was laid up in a beach house, they were kicking in doors. Imani stepped closer. "I'm sorry for your loss." But she had that look in her eyes, like there was more. "Remember when I told you my dad had a big case coming up?" she said quietly. I turned to her slowly. "It was this, the drug sting in southwest Atlanta. I knew you stayed in that area. I knew you were still connected. So I planned this trip to get you out before it happened." I just stared at her. "You saved me." She didn't smile. "I wasn't about to lose you to the streets." My mind replayed everything. Tone asking me to reschedule, that last laugh in my driveway, that backpack. If she hadn't pulled me out, I'd either be in cuffs next to Ricco or zipped in a black bag next to Tone. Inside my head, another thought crept in. Tone is dead, Ricco locked up, Nyah locked up, and I'm holding $2 million that belonged to a kingpin who just got arrested. The weight of that bag suddenly felt heavier than ever. "I'm going to check on my kids," I said. She nodded. "Go." Before I could dial, my phone rang. Aaliyah. I answered. She was crying. "They arrested Ricco," she said between breaths. "Tone dead. I don't know what I'm going to do." I closed my eyes. I saw the news. "They came to my crib," she continued. "Police tore everything up, looking for money. Said Ricco might have stashed something there." My pulse spiked. "You good? Kids good?" "The kids are okay," she said. "But listen, Ricco gave me some money to hold, just in case things went sideways." My jaw tightened. "How much?" "500,000. I stood up and started pacing. "Where it at?" "I took it to my mama's house. Thought it'd be safer there." "Good move." "You need to pack up the kids," I told her. "Go to your mom's, lay low, and you need to start thinking about moving. Start over. Use that money smart." She went quiet. "You think it's that serious?" "It's bigger than you think," I said. After I hung up, I just stood there staring at the ocean through the glass doors, tone dead. Ricco locked, and Nyah locked. Police sweeping the city, and 2 different houses tied to me now holding almost $3 million that didn't belong to us. Behind me, Imani's voice came soft. "What's wrong?" I didn't turn around. The question wasn't what's wrong. The question was, how long before all this comes looking for me? The ride back from Tybee felt different. Same highway, different weight. I kept both hands on the wheel, eyes forward. Imani had her pretty-ass legs crossed in the passenger seat, sunglasses on, quiet. "I need to tell you something," I said. She turned down the music. "Before Tone died, he gave me something to hold." Her head tilted slightly. "What kind of something?" "Money." "How much?" "Enough to change everything." She didn't react crazy, didn't gasp, didn't panic. "Does anyone else know you have it?" "No." "And Tone's gone?" I nodded. "And Ricco's locked?" "Yeah." She looked out the window for a long second, then back at me. "When we get back, I'll ask around, quietly, see if the feds are still looking for missing money tied to the case." "You think they are?" "I don't know," she said. "They always follow the money," she said calmly. "But my dad said they got their main targets. If there was a financial trail, they would have hit it already." We drove in silence after that. When we hit Atlanta, I took a detour, drove past where the bus went down. The block looked dead. Boarded doors, yellow tape half hanging off a light pole, burn marks still on the pavement. No music, no dice games, no loud engines, just wind. "Damn," I muttered. "I can't believe Tone gone." My chest tightened. "If it wasn't for you," I shook my head. "That would have been me." Imani reached over and grabbed my hand. "But it wasn't," she said. "You're here." For the first time in a long time, I felt something I wasn't used to. Survivor's guilt. We pulled up to her Buckhead condo as the sun dipped low behind the skyline. That place looked different now, too. Safer, cleaner, like a doorway out. Inside, she turned to me. "By tomorrow, you should pack your things and move in with me." I blinked. "You serious?" "Yes. Move away from it all. New beginning." I looked around her living room. Marble floors, city view, quiet. "You know what I always wanted?" I said. "What?" "To own properties, real estate, be a landlord, not hustling, not ducking police, just collecting rent." She smiled. "With my help, you can." I let that sit. "If that money clean," I said slowly, "I'm investing it, legit. LLCs, duplexes, apartment buildings. I'm building something that lasts." She stepped closer. "You can," she said softly, "but you have to leave that world completely." That night, we sat on her sofa, butt naked, planning. Not dreaming, planning. Property management, business licenses, credit repair, long-term investments. It felt grown. It felt different. The next morning, her phone rang. Her dad. She stepped onto the balcony to take it. I watched her through the glass. She nodded a few times, said, "Yes, sir," said, "I understand." When she came back inside, her face was calm. "It's done," she said. "What?" "The drug case. They have everyone they need. No more investigation, just prosecution." I swallowed. "And Ricco?" "He's never seen the light of day again." The room went quiet. She walked toward me slowly. "The money," she said, looking me dead in my eyes. "If no one traced it, if no one asked about it, then it's free and clear." My heart pounded. Free. Free. She placed her hands on my chest. "You survived something that was meant to swallow you," she said. "Now you can live your life." But something inside me whispered, money like that is never really free. Outside, Atlanta kept moving. Some people were locked up, some were buried, and somehow, I was sitting in Buckhead with a second chance and millions in hidden cash. The woman that saves me, plus my $5. The question wasn't whether I could change. The question was, would the streets ever let me? So yeah, that's how it went down. In this city, the streets don't forgive, and they damn sure don't forget. One bad decision can turn $5 in your pocket into 1,000,000 problems. Money changed people. Power changed people. But in Atlanta, loyalty is the most dangerous currency of them all. Some people chasing money, some people chasing love, and some people just trying to stay alive long enough to enjoy either one. But remember something, everybody smiling in your face ain't your friend. Everybody laying next to you ain't on your side. And everybody saying they got you might be the same one setting you up. This story ain't over yet, because in this city, the night always got another secret. If you rocking with $5 in my pocket, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, drop a comment, and let me know what you think about the story so far. And trust me, the next story, man, the next story gonna get real ugly. Stay tuned. $5 in my pocket, where one small bill turned into a whole lot of trouble.